Hi, my name's Stevie and I like to record songs. Today we're going to be looking at segues and bridges. We have a situation here where the verse and the chorus don't flow together because they're in two different keys. So we're going to write a piece of music that transitions from one key into another so that we can smoothly flow from the verse into the chorus. Let's go. Before we start today, I would like to talk a wee bit about time management. It's important to me that when I'm in the studio, I'm maximizing the amount of time that I'm spending creatively and not wasting a lot of time on stuff. When I have an idea for a riff or a chord sequence, I want to come out into the studio within minutes or even seconds. I want to be actually recording that piece of music. So I've put a lot of effort into making sure that my studio is set up in such a way that I don't waste any time. I don't want to be out here miking up guitar amps, trying different mic placements, gain staging vocals and stuff like that. I want everything to be set up and ready to go at all times. So I have simplified my studio setup as much as possible so that when I just had a template, I'm ready to record guitar. When I had a template, I'm ready to record vocals. If I need a piano or strings, I just fire up a template and it's ready to go. I'll give you a couple of examples of that now. I'm using a screen capture software at the minute, so you can't see that I actually use touchscreens a lot. And I have set up across the bottom here a lot of buttons that do various functions for me. This is quite like the way a lot of people would use the Elgato Stream Deck. But because I've got touchscreens, I don't need the screen deck. I can just touch buttons on the screen. So one of them is for track templates. And if I click this, then all my track templates come up. So if I need strings, if I need a synth or a Korg M1, whatever I need, I just click on this and it comes up. So for example, I'll click on the guitar and this is now loaded up a guitar template for me. It has the settings that I like. So it's set up for monitoring the input. The correct input's already selected. All the options that I like. Plus it also has my patch set up and ready to go. So that it's literally just a matter of pressing the template button and arming the track and I can start recording guitar. I can do the same thing with bass or with acoustic guitars or with pianos and so on. This is something that's constantly evolving and updating. I'm constantly finding new little tweaks that make it even better. I also have various other utility things that I like to use. For example, I can load up a tuner and it stays visible all the time here on this track so that it doesn't actually record anything on the track, but at all times I can see the tuner so that while I'm tracking the guitar, I can check my tuning. And then if I want to apply any effects to a track, I simply click on this button here and it opens up this window and all my favorite effects are ready to go. Slick EQ, Rezo, all the things that I like to use. We all love our music and we all want to spend as much time as possible with our music, but we have lives outside of music. I'm a dad and a husband, and that is the vast majority of my life. In the limited amount of time that I have to be in the studio, I don't want to faff about with any unnecessary things. I just want to be able to maximize the amount of time that I actually spend being creative and writing songs. So this is the problem that we have today. We have a verse and a chorus that don't actually flow together. Let's hear. So I want to build a segue today that joins these two things together more successfully. So I'd pull the chorus off into the distance so that we've got plenty of room to work with. So currently we're in C minor. Okay. And our target is G minor. That's where we want to get to. So here is the thing that I wrote today that I think might work. So we start in C minor. Okay, so let's break that down first. We've got the normal C minor chords. We've got A flat into B flat. And then instead, that would naturally lead up to the C minor. But I don't do that. Instead, we put in the Neapolitan 6 cadence that we were talking about earlier on first. So let's hear that. nice. And then instead of doing these chords again, I wanted to try something different, so I put in F minor. And then I suppose you could call that F diminished if you want, or you could call it A flat diminished. Which sort of acts like a leading note towards a C minor again. And the same chords we started this section with. Because here, at this point, if we do that as a 7 chord, it perfectly leads into here. And then we're in G minor. Let's look again. I'm going to try that, and hopefully by the time we get through that chord sequence and the chorus kicks in, it'll feel natural. And if not, we might have to do another segue just to stabilize the new G minor key. I wrote that chord sequence in response to a vocal melody that I had written, because the lyrics came first, and then I wrote the chord sequence to match it. We're writing this song about a liar, about what it must feel like to be a liar. I thought of the phrase feeding the fire. It came about because it was a rhyme for liar that I ended up not using, but the word fire still came about. Feeding the fire for me sort of means the more you lie, the more you back yourself into a corner, and the more lies you have to tell in order to back up the previous lies. So it's a sort of vicious circle that carries on. You're feeding the fire, and the embers from the fire are starting to choke you. And it seems like everyone knows, and you're fatally self-aware. Those were the lyrics, and I had a vocal melody in mind, and so I wrote the chords to match that vocal melody. So let's have a go now at trying to assemble these parts together. Right, let's see what we have now. I think the diminished chords and stuff in it are reminding me a wee bit of the band Muse. So I think I might go a wee bit deeper into that because it sounds quite sparse at the moment. I'd like to add some arpeggio lead guitars and strings and stuff. Fatten that all up before we move on. So the guitar part that I came up for over this just a straightforward arpeggio of the actual chords. So at the end there, we get that leading note, which leads us nicely into that. You know, and I think it was the Muse influence as well that for some reason that sounds very Muse to me. Let's try and add some strings, just the sort of obvious staccato things. I think it might be nice as well just to double up the lead guitar arpeggios. Yep, do that. Right, so here's what we've got for the strings now. And let's hear that in the track. And I really don't feel at this stage that the chorus should come. We need something else. I had an idea that I was hoping to hold back for a middle eight for this song, and I think we're going to need that as another part of the bridge, just to really strongly enforce the G minor feeling before it goes into the chorus. So I sort of feel like this section should be a sort of straightforward rock section, just to balance out all the proggy elements that I've been doing so far in the song. Nice straightforward harmony, maybe just droning in G minor. For the lyrics, I did a very simple little trick where I looked up a thesaurus and I found as many words as I could that had a connotation of lying, deception, duplicity, insincerity, treachery, suspicion, contrition, insidious hypocrisy. So, very straightforward. I'm just going to list out these words and have quite an aggressive, heavy riff underneath. Okay, let's hear that. Deception, duplicity, insincerity, treachery, suspicion, contrition, insidious, hypocrisy. Maybe just a wee bit of strings on it. Deception, duplicity, insincerity, treachery, suspicion, contrition. Okay, and let's select it all and see how that flows from the first part of the bridge. Let's look at what's going on here as well with the vocals. It just occurred to me as I was recording them that maybe because the vocals were so staccato, there needed to be a sustainy one as well. So on the sustainy one, I've made it quite echoey. And I should mention that although in the last episode I talked about the fact that I'm using some new plugins, I finally decided that since I'm going to be using new plugins, that I should also try and move across to the Howard Benson vocal plugin. I've been using the CLA plugin up until now, and for one reason or another, I want to just stop using Waves plugins. So I'm trying to get this to be the replacement for my CLA. To be honest, I'm not 100% on it yet. I think out of the box, the CLA plugin just sounds really, really nice. I'm pretty sure that if I keep working on this, I can get it to sound just as good, maybe even better. There's a lot more control in this one. So I'm hoping that it will be my new plugin. On this vocal, I have turned the echo and the reverb way up so that it sounds more distant and ethereal in the background of the track. You know? So then in the track. Right. So the big moment now is to find this chorus and find out, have we got the chorus sorted and can we loop back into the next verse? Let me see. Right, finally, I think that works. Although, listen to them echoes. I think that does work, but I think it's disappointingly stale compared to the build-up. I don't really like the way the guitars are just playing diamonds. We say playing diamonds when we mean playing power chords that last for a whole bar. I think it needs to be a wee bit more driving than that. So I'll try and add guitars, and I think maybe just dun 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 dun, really punky and aggressive. I think that might suit that chorus a wee bit better. Right, so I would like to get an idea now about where we are so far and find out if everything flows the way I hoped. So I'll listen to it from towards the end of the verse, just as it goes into the bridge, and find out, does the whole thing flow together? Okay, cool. I think we've got a basic arrangement for the song now. Let's go back to the start of the verses and see if we can copy the whole thing across. I think maybe just something as simple as, I kind of guess here. And not necessarily with any of the vocals. Okay, cool. I think the vocals should probably come in straight away. So we can probably copy across all the bridge parts. So what we need now is lyrics for the second verse. Let's get that sorted. Once you get on a roll with lyrics, they start becoming a wee bit easier to put together, because as soon as you have the sort of key phrases in the chorus and maybe the opening line for the verse, then everything else just sort of falls into place as a result of the work that you've already done in the lyrics. So that's what I found with the second verse. I felt like I was in the zone of the lyrics and I knew what they were about, and writing the second verse was quite easy. The cracking whip of humanity fills my head with doubt. The whisper of my conscience turns into a shout. So we're still talking about how this guy feels being a stone cold liar right to someone's face. The grinding cogs of reason, conflicting with emotion, the trickle of reality forgotten in the ocean. I always feel a wee bit weird about very, very good rhymes like emotion and ocean. There's part of me thanks God I could do something a wee bit cooler than that, but it'll flow vocally and I can't think of anything else right now, so I'm just going to keep moving forward. At some point in the future I can change it anyway. Cracking whip of humanity fills my head with doubt. The whisper of my conscience turns into a shout. The grinding cogs of reason, conflicting with emotion, the trickle of reality forgotten in the ocean, beating the fire. I had a crafty listen to the whole thing just now, and there's a couple of small details that I would like to add on just before we have a full playthrough. One of them is that I noticed that the strings play for most of the song, but they're not in the verses, and I think some nice low strings like this during the quiet parts of the verses would tie the whole thing together and have strings the whole way through the song. So let's try that first. And the other thing is, I hear in the lyrics all the time, we listen to it from here, I keep thinking there should be a wee strum. Integrity sort of makes me think. So just put that on as well. Cool, and I think I'll also do that in the second verse. And because I have it on the right guitar in the first verse, I'll put it on the left guitar on the second verse, just for a wee bit of variety. The whisper of my conscience turns. A nice coincidence that it came after the word conscience this time. So let's listen to the full track now from the beginning and see where we're at. Probably have the strings just swell in just before the piano starts. Right, so I suppose the main thing that jumps out at me is somewhere along the line I've added something in to the chorus that's causing the harmonies and the vocals to clash now. I'm going to have to investigate that and see what's happening. But apart from that, pretty cool. I think we're onto something with this song. I think it's going to be good when it's finished. So that's great. Another song well underway. Next time, I'm going to do a guitar solo for it. Do you know what? I was thinking from a classical point of view. Why don't we pull this bad boy into operation here? Do a bit of classical guitar for the guitar solo. Think that'd be nice. Yes. What are you doing? Are you still here? My God, you've got the attention span of a boomer. Fair play to you. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Looking forward to the guitar solo next week. Please don't forget, do all the things. Why do I find it so cringy to say like and subscribe? Like and subscribe. Hit the wee bell icon. Freaks me out. Why is it such a cringy thing to do? But I do sincerely want to grow this channel and I want more people to find out about it. So please support the channel, help me grow. Thank you so much. You guys rock.